Welcome to Deleted Saves. On this episode, Final Fantasy VI on the SNES. Often the word epic is tossed around too lightly, devoid of any actual context for the magnitude of the word. It has come to mean something just really cool. But today we will be discussing Final Fantasy VI, known as Final Fantasy III in its initial North American release, a game for which the true definition of the word epic genuinely applies. Final Fantasy VI wears many hats during its run. War story, ghost tale, opera, world-breaking apocalypse, but it is primarily the hero's journey of a young woman named Terra, a half-human, half-monster known as an Esper, a child of two worlds and at home in neither. Why the mechanized empire first wants her seems to be because she's a brainwashed weapon of war, up until the time she goes rogue and threatens the world balance. Along the way, she collects her own small army of playable characters, a whopping 12 recruitable PCs, or 14 if you find the two optional characters, with which to fight back against an insane, clown-painted general named Kefka, who seeks to achieve, and later obtains, godhood. Final Fantasy VI, mechanically, begins to resemble a hybrid child of its own, a mix between the older turn-based Final Fantasy ancestors and the more active time battle uses of Chrono Trigger. It forges a new way forward, with graphics and mechanics that grow in complexity yet remain seamless and clear, with great explanations of how to utilize each character's unique contributions to this massive party. It is also a period of transition in theme and anachronisms, merging the traditions of fantasy fiction with the later schools of urban fantasy and steampunk, the halfway point between the early Final Fantasy tales and the worlds that we would see in Final Fantasy VII and beyond, which speaks not only for the creative desire to forge new paths, but also to develop teams in transition. There are mech-suit war machines alongside magic, sword-wielding knights and ninjas fighting alongside a Lothario king who uses chainsaws and giant drills. Incongruous, yet it all works brilliantly. There are many points along the path of the game's story that have a hefty dollop of comedy cheese. The wisecracking thief, the inept airship-owning gambler, a shit-talking octopus that attacks an opera house, or the time the warrior monk suplexes a motherfucking spectral locomotive. But make no mistake, this is a game designed to break your heart, even just a bit. The characters have lost their homes and kingdoms, don't know who they are or in which world they belong, are widowers and fathers having to abandon their children for duty to country, children who knew nothing of home or family. One character even tries to commit suicide. The main enemy betrays his own shitty taskmaster to lay waste to everything, and succeeds, the whole second half of the game taking place in a completely ruined world. This is heavy stuff, and the comic relief is much needed. But for its time, this particular Final Fantasy was also one of the longest in overall gameplay length, coming in at a minimum 35 hours to complete, 65 hours if you decide to go after every last character and bit of tat and treasure. In 1994, the year of the release for this game, this was rare, almost unheard of, although now it is more common among both Western and JRPGs alike. There is a character here for every type of player to get behind and want to know more about. Hell, there should be, with a roster as expansive as this. But you will be able to come to like, if not love most of them, perhaps even all of them, for their flaws and foibles. I mean, not many other games take a break for you to perform a full opera and then turn around to go monster hunting across a stand-in for the Serengeti, just so one character can learn the special attacks of every monster in the game, barring unique critters and bosses, all while on the way to killing God. When I said epic, I was not exaggerating. None of this went unnoticed by the gaming public and marked square for a powerhouse developer it was, at the time, before its acquisition and merger with Enix to become Square Enix. Final Fantasy VI has been ported many times to newer systems since its release, going through translation updates, graphics overhauls, and any number of reviews and re-reviews by those who were there at the time and those who have come after it. It is worthy of the praise heaped upon it. For my part, Final Fantasy VI remains one of my all-time favorites. As much as I could sympathize with Terra's plight, I found myself more in the characters of Locke and Sabin, the rebel and the independent if clueless innocent respectively. But I was there for all of it, every twist and turn, ups and downs. It taught me that the juxtaposition and tonal shifts are part of the charm, part of the storytelling, And if you can spin it all in a way that works along with your own unique stamp on the Twymorn tropes, then the people will go along with you for the ride, no matter how crazy it gets. Even with the rehashed straw of 1,000 writers, you could still spin gold. This is obviously not the final entry of the Final Fantasy series, nor is it the last time we will be discussing the entries in the storied and revered game canon. But for the era of the Super Nintendo, it will be one of the last times we will see a game this grandiose and would not see its likes again. At least until a new player takes the field. That, however, is another story for another time. Thank you for listening.